The Philadelphia Eagles are heading into a Thursday night football clash with the New York Giants, and the pressure is mounting. Not just because of the NFC East rivalry, but because this is shaping up to be a must-win, get-right kind of game. Through 5 weeks, this Eagles team has shown flashes of brilliance, but has been haunted by inconsistency, lackluster execution, and questionable play calling. And now, with the Giants lined up across from them, it's time to see what this Philly team is really made of. Offensively, the Eagles have been a roller coaster. The numbers are clear: 12th in the league in points per game, which might sound decent on the surface, but then you look closer and the cracks start showing. 30th in total yards, 29th in yards per play, and a struggling third down conversion rate sitting below 38%. And while they've managed to stay elite in red zone efficiency, scoring touchdowns on over 92% of trips inside the 20, the road to get there has often looked choppy, uninspired, and flat-out confusing. Explosive plays are rare. The run game? Almost non-existent at times. And it feels like this offense hasn't put together a full 60 minutes since the season kicked off. Part of the blame lands on Kevin Patullo, whose inexperience as a play caller is becoming more evident each week. There are stretches where he looks like he's figured it out, like the opening drives in Week 1 against Dallas, where the Eagles stormed down the field for 3 straight touchdowns. But then, it's like the entire game plan unravels. You get a weather delay, momentum slips, and suddenly the creativity is gone. The rhythm disappears. It's not just about 1 or 2 bad calls. It's about the lack of sequencing, the inability to build off successful plays, and the failure to make adjustments in real time. When you look at what Denver's defense did in the second half last week, it's a perfect example of what experience and feel can do for a play caller. They switched from man to zone coverage, and the Eagles fell apart. Jalen Hurts has been lighting up man coverage all season, but zone has been his kryptonite. And if the coaches don't start scheming better answers for that, defenses are going to keep throwing zone at them and daring them to figure it out. On the other side of the ball, the Eagles' defense has been more solid than the numbers suggest. Yes, they gave up 18 points in the fourth quarter against the Broncos, but it's hard to blame them entirely. The offense kept sending them back on the field after short drives, and eventually fatigue set in. Still, they're ranked 16th in points allowed, 20th in total yards, and 9th on third downs, which shows they can get off the field when it counts. They've also been one of the best in the red zone, allowing touchdowns just 42% of the time. That's top 3 in the league. Now let's talk about the Giants, because calling them a bad team might actually be generous. They're near the bottom of the league in just about every offensive category. 17th in yards per game, 28th in scoring, and dead last in red zone efficiency at just over 31%. Their opening drives are a disaster, and the first quarters are even worse. That's not just bad execution, that's bad coaching. Defensively, they've got talent up front, no doubt about that. The defensive line is dangerous, and if the Eagles' offensive line isn't ready, things could get ugly fast. But after that front, it gets shaky. They're giving up nearly 400 yards per game and allowing over 5.5 yards per play. On third downs, teams are converting over 43% of the time. The one thing they do well is red zone defense, top 10 in that category, which is one of the reasons some of their games have been closer than they should be. But this is the moment for Philadelphia's offense to get back on track. This needs to be the statement game. Saquon Barkley needs to be more involved. 6 carries against Denver is unacceptable, and only one of those came in the second half. That's not how this team is built. You've got a top-tier offensive line, a running back who went off for 2,000 yards last season, and an identity rooted in physical, run-first football. Yet week after week, we're watching the Eagles stray from that formula in favor of appeasing star receivers or chasing explosive plays that aren't there. And that goes back to Patullo again. This offense isn't lacking talent. It's lacking direction. When you see Saquon pick up 17 yards on a toss to the left, and then that play never gets called again, you have to question the logic. You have to wonder what the game plan actually is. Is it built around setting up the run and letting Hurts attack off play action? Or is it just a scattered mix of plays with no real foundation? The offensive line has to take some of the blame, too. Against Denver, they gave up 6 sacks. Jalen Hurts had time at moments, but too often, defenders were flying into the backfield untouched. If that happens again against the Giants' defensive line that features guys like Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau, this game could spiral quickly. Landon Dickerson has been battling injuries and hasn't looked right all year. Cam Jurgens got paid in the offseason, but hasn't delivered. Lane Johnson's been in and out of the lineup. If they don't come together and dominate the line of scrimmage, this get-right game could turn into a trap game real quick. But it's not just about blocking, it's about discipline. The Eagles have been plagued by unforced errors all season, and those mistakes finally caught up with them against Denver. Pre-snap penalties, illegal formations, missed opportunities. A.J. Brown stopped running on a deep route that the team had practiced all week, one that should have been an easy touchdown. Jan Dotson failed to get both feet down on a perfect throw. Tyler Steen got flagged as an ineligible man downfield on a crucial RPO. Saquon Barkley didn't get set before a key fourth down play. These are things that separate good teams from great ones. And right now, Philadelphia is stuck in the middle. The Giants' wide receiver room won't scare anybody. Without Malik Nabers, this might be the worst group of pass catchers in the league. Darius Slayton is their number one option, and beyond him, there's very little help for a young quarterback trying to find his footing. This is a game where the Eagles' secondary should feast, should dominate. But even that's not guaranteed. Quinyon Mitchell got cooked in the second half against Denver, giving up big plays to Courtland Sutton after a strong first half of the season. It's a learning moment, no doubt, but this secondary can't afford to sleepwalk against anybody, not even against the Giants' lowly offense. And back to Jalen Hurts. His numbers against man coverage are elite. Completion percentage over 76%. Passer rating near 125. But against zone, he drops to 63%, bottom tier in the NFL. That's a major red flag. Talented players can beat man coverage, but beating zone takes scheme, timing, and anticipation. It takes coaching. And right now, the Eagles aren't giving their quarterback the help he needs. This is a rivalry game, the kind of matchup where records get thrown out the window. And while Philadelphia has owned the Giants in recent years, that doesn't mean anything if they don't show up and execute. This is a chance to reset the tone for the season, to clean up the sloppiness, to rediscover their offensive identity, and to get this thing back on track before it's too late. Because if the Eagles don't handle their business here, the questions are only going to get louder. With everything on the line and expectations mounting, the Eagles cannot afford another sluggish performance, especially not against a Giants team that has very little going for it outside of a solid defensive line. This is not just about getting a win. It's about showing that this roster, which is built to compete for a championship, can actually play like it. The margin for error is shrinking, and at this point in the season, there are no more moral victories or silver linings. It's time to put it all together. The ground game has to be the foundation, and it has to start now. All season long, the Eagles have wanted to be a run-first team, yet their rushing identity has been missing. The numbers tell the story. Despite being in the top 10 in rush attempts and run play percentage, they're near the bottom of the league in yards per carry, averaging just 3.5 per rush. That's 29th in the NFL. Even more shocking, their total rushing yards per game is sitting just under 100, which ranks 25th. And this is with one of the most physically dominant offensive lines in the league and a star running back in Saquon Barkley, who helped carry the offense to elite production just last season. Something isn't adding up. You can see the frustration building. The Eagles want to be balanced. They want to impose their will at the line of scrimmage, but the disconnect between play calling and execution keeps holding them back. When the offense does find momentum, it often gets derailed by a penalty, a miscommunication, or simply the wrong play at the wrong time. Against the Giants, that cannot happen. New York's run defense has been atrocious. They're allowing over 5 yards per carry and giving up more than 140 rushing yards per game. This isn't a defense you have to overthink. This is a defense you punch in the mouth. Feed Saquon. Set the tone. Wear them down. This matchup also presents an opportunity for the coaching staff to reassert control and stop overreacting to noise. Earlier in the season, when wide receivers started making noise about targets and involvement, it felt like the play calling adjusted to keep them happy. But it came at the cost of the run game. You can't overcompensate just to get your playmakers touches if it means taking your best weapon off the field. That's what happened against Denver. Barkley was rolling, and then suddenly, the run game disappeared. Only one carry for him in the entire second half. That's coaching malpractice, and it cannot happen again. Jalen Hurts also needs to be put in a better position to succeed. His struggles against zone coverage aren't just on him. They reflect the overall lack of scheme design to create open windows and help him identify matchups. Against man, Hurts can trust his guys to win. Against zone, he needs route concepts that work. He needs timing. He needs spacing. Right now, the Eagles aren't giving him enough of that. The solution isn't more hero ball. It's smarter football. If this coaching staff wants to stop hearing questions about their inexperience, this is the week to prove they can make the adjustments that matter. Another thing that cannot be overlooked is the importance of rhythm. When the Eagles are rolling, it's usually because the offense gets into a groove, short passes, play action, design quarterback runs, and creative formations. We've seen in flashes. The opening drive against the Broncos. The second half against the Rams. The first half against Tampa Bay. But those moments keep getting lost in the shuffle. And part of that comes back to the inability to build off success. There's no reason a play that works early in the game shouldn't be revisited later. But time and time again, we're seeing the coaching staff abandon what's working in favor of something else that isn't. That's not adjustment, it's confusion. This week, the offensive line has to play like the elite unit it's been touted as. They got embarrassed against Denver. 6 sacks is unacceptable. Yes, Hurts sometimes holds onto the ball too long, but that's not an excuse for the amount of pressure he's been under. If they let this Giants defensive front get into the backfield the way Denver did, it could change the entire game. Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, these are not average players. They're game wreckers. And if Philly doesn't protect Hurts, this get-right game could get sideways fast. But if the offensive line plays to its potential, and if the play calling leans on the run game to slow down that Giants pass rush, the Eagles can dictate the pace. They can force the Giants into playing from behind, which is where they're most vulnerable. And that's when the defense can feast. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing with a development that could shake up the Philadelphia Eagles offense. KENDRICK Bourne, the versatile wide receiver known for his clutch plays and reliable hands, has reportedly confirmed his arrival in Philadelphia, sending waves of speculation through fans and analysts alike. While the details remain scarce, insiders suggest that Bourne's addition could signal a strategic shift for the Eagles, potentially opening new dimensions in both their passing attack and special team schemes. Bourne, who has built a reputation for his precise route running and ability to thrive in high-pressure situations, has often been considered a dependable weapon in critical moments. His tenure with previous teams has showcased his knack for creating separation and finding the end zone when it matters most, a skill set that many believe complements Philadelphia's current receiving core. While the official announcement is still pending, sources close to the situation have hinted that contract terms are being finalized and that Bourne could be integrated into the lineup sooner rather than later. For Eagles fans, the prospect of Bourne joining the roster brings both excitement and curiosity. How will he mesh with the team's star-studded quarterback room? Can he step into the spotlight alongside established targets and make an immediate impact? Coaches are reportedly intrigued by Bourne's versatility, particularly his ability to line up both outside and in the slot, as well as contribute on special teams if needed. In an era where depth at wide receiver is crucial, Bourne's potential arrival could offer the Eagles the kind of flexibility that often defines playoff-caliber teams. As the rumor continues to swirl, social media has exploded with reactions ranging from cautious optimism to outright enthusiasm. Analysts are already speculating how Bourne might alter game plans, red zone strategies, and even the team's overall offensive tempo. While nothing is officially confirmed, the buzz surrounding KENDRICK Bourne's potential move to Philadelphia suggests that the Eagles could be on the verge of a notable shakeup. For now, fans will have to wait, but the whispers are loud enough to make everyone in the city of brotherly love sit up and take notice. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.